Hi, I hope you're having a wonderful day today. Today I have a question that I want to pose for you. Is luxury shopping dead? This is my very first Is Something Dead video on YouTube, which I don't know why, but that's been cracking me up all morning. Before we get into that, I am wearing all David Yurman blue topaz today. I've got it blinged out here, dressed for spring. But I have this question, and I thought about this when we were traveling recently, and I wanted to ask what your opinion is on this. Before we get into the video, if you're new to my channel, my name is Melinda. If you're returning, thank you so much for coming back. I am trying to hit 30,000 subscribers this year for my 7th year on YouTube anniversary. If you have not done so already, I would so much appreciate if you would hit that subscribe button down below. So let's get right into this. I wish I had taken footage, but it didn't occur to me until it didn't go for a whole week, but until the trip was over, and I'm like, I wish I had taken footage. So where the idea for this video has come from is my husband and I recently went on a trip to Las Vegas, and he got an extra trip to Las Vegas. He booked London, he booked Paris, he booked Aruba, and we have another beach trip, so I'm like, fine, we'll go back to Vegas. Well, I'm on a luxury pause for shopping, and a lot of you know that, and I have an updated video for that, how that is going. So I really wasn't interested in shopping, and I really don't know what else to do in Las Vegas. I don't gamble, so we met up with a lot of friends. We had a really good time. We went to a lot of new places and did things, but I popped into a few stores to say hello to my sales associate. I went in one store because there's something I'm thinking of getting when I'm in Europe, and I don't have that store here. But what I noticed, nobody was in any of the stores, especially Chanel. There was no lines outside, and I'm like, well, you know, it wasn't very crowded when we went. Even though it was spring break time, it wasn't very crowded. It got super crowded on the weekend, and I thought, well, it's going to change on the weekend, and it's going to start getting, you know, really, really crowded and a lot of shoppers. It did get very, very crowded. However, the boutiques stayed empty. The only exception to that was when we were at Crystals. There was a line out the door at Hermes. So we've all seen the stock market reports, how a lot of these fashion houses have reported losses. A few, like Hermes, have reported that they have had gains. They're doing very, very well, and I can see why when you get into some of these prices that these fashion houses are charging. And Cassie Thorpe did an amazing video today, and hers is about the prices. I will link hers down below. Mine is just more of an overall, let's chat about this. She did a very good job showing a wide range of what things cost now. One of the things she shared was a plain and simple white tank top from Gucci for $1,700. I thought her video was great, but I meant to get this up last Monday, but life has been crazy and been busy. But so every store was empty except Hermes. I walked by Chanel because, you know, in order to go anywhere, we stayed at the Wynn and the Encore. In order to leave the hotel, you walk by shops constantly. Oh, for the first time since the Balenciaga scandal, I saw 2 people in the store. We have to pass that store a lot. I feel bad for their sales associates. They have to be so bored. Not saying woohoo or anything for Balenciaga. It was the first time I've seen somebody in there. But we walked by Chanel so many times, and the ropes were not up, and there was no one in the store, and I noticed that there is all these pink bags in the store. You know, in the past, if they had a pale pink coming out, there is no way that you would be able to get that bag unless you had a really good sales associate and you had been on the list and all of that good stuff. I walked right in and I tried on the Trendy CC. If I can figure out how to crop that picture correctly, I will put it in. But both the sales associate and my husband were like right on me when I took a picture with the bag. I forget how much she said it was. I think it was $6,900 or $6,800. I was in and out of the store in less than 5 minutes. I didn't want to waste her time. I was just like, how is there a pink bag here? So that was at the Wynn. And we walked past Chanel in the Bellagio, and in the window on display was a light pink Chanel jumbo. That never would have happened in the past, ever. And so I was like, well, I've been hearing that Chanel is going to have a price increase. So I went on my phone and the jumbo was $11,000. Jumbo. I recall, tell me if I'm correct about this, wasn't it $10,700 last year? Am I wrong about that? Tell me down below, because I broke up with Chanel a very, very long time ago. I didn't even go in that boutique, but I was just like, there's a pink bag in the window. Wow. Well, that was not the price increase. The price increase actually happened last Wednesday, which I think was the 27th. And it is now $11,700. $11,700. Whew. This is not a price increase video, but whew, like, wow. And so I was on their website today just to show you a little bit of footage. They have the most bizarre ad campaign out with Penelope Cruz and Brad Pitt. First of all, it shows them driving in a car, and they've called the flap now, what do they call it now? Do I have a picture of it? The 11.2 or something like that, 11.12. I'll write it down below because I don't have the picture of it. I don't remember what they call it, but it was like, what? But they have the weirdest ad. So there's Penelope Cruz and there's Brad Pitt. They're in a car. Her handbag is on the dashboard. When have you ever stuck your handbag on the dashboard? You have to slam on the brakes and I was like, okay. Then they go to this restaurant. They're sitting down and they're facing each other, and the server's standing here looking down at them, and they order steak and they choose how they want it cooked, and they're like, we want it hot. And the server's like, do you want a starter? And they're like, no. Server walks away and they're like, should we make her happy? And they're like, do you have any rooms? And I'm just befuddled by why that would, number one, make me want to buy a classic flap, why the server would want them to get a room. I'm just so confused. She wants you to order starters, okay? That's what she wants from you, but it's so weird. So when I purchased this bag, it was 7 years ago, coming up in like a couple of months, 7 years ago. It was $5,500. It's now $11,700 plus tax. And when I was on the Chanel website trying to figure out why they're trying to rebrand it, they're like, the leather woven through the chain, and they're trying to talk about the quilting and all of this. Well, they don't mention anything about the hardware. And last weekend, I don't know why, I guess maybe I saw an ad or something. I haven't been on their website or bought anything from them in over a decade, but I was on Dooney & Bourke's website, and I was looking at a couple of hobo bags. I didn't buy anything. I'm still on my pause, but I was just looking, and it went through the detail, and their hardware on their pebbled leather bags is 14 karat gold plated, and their hardware on their Florentine leather bags, which is their Vachetta leather bags, is 24 karat gold plated. I don't think Chanel's doing that, and they've raised all these prices. But the stores, all of them, one after the other, be it jewelry, Chanel, Louis Vuitton, Dior, Gucci, I saw nobody in the stores. And the few stores that I went into, I was the only person in the store at that time. I saw very few people with shopping bags. Usually in Las Vegas, you see tons and tons and tons and tons of shopping bags. Very, very, very few. And something I've noticed also, tell me if y'all have been getting this too, resale sites like Fashionphile, they're sending out coupons. I've gotten 2 10% off coupons to use on anything. Recently, I have not used them. They never used to do that, and they are really sending out a lot of emails and doing a lot of marketing, which tells me that their sales must be really down. And I've also noticed markdowns not happening at the typical time of the year. Usually late June, late December is when you see a lot of sales. There's been a lot of bags for sales. A lot of YouTubers have done videos about where to find these bags. You can get Saint Laurent and Chloe and all sorts of bags that are on sale. And it's March, which is very, very unusual. Yeah, it's very, very strange. And then I've also noticed that Louis Vuitton has not had a price increase that I can tell in a very long time. And I will put in an example of my Loop Hobo. It is the same price that it was when I purchased it. Also the same with my Neo Noe. I'm looking on the bed trying to remember the names of everything. My Speedy 20 hasn't gone up. And also for the most part, Louis Vuitton's new releases are not selling out. And I will put in a little footage of that. The multicolor is all gone online. And I just looked this all up today because again, I'm on my pause, so I've not been actively shopping. But I've noticed that usually their stuff would be gone with the pre-order, and that stopped last year. When I pre-ordered the Damier Ebene Speedy 20, I could have gotten it in the store or online easily. My pink Speedy 20, the one that's kind of the by the pool collection, I'll insert a picture of it. I walked in the store and they still had that on the shelves. A few years prior, you would not have been able to get that. So do you think the reason is the prices, the quality, the prices plus the quality, or are you just over all of it? I know a lot of you had told me you've sold everything and you were just done with the whole luxury shopping thing, and I totally get that, and taking a pause is really making me reflect my own self, but I just have never seen Vegas like that. So let me back up and tell you what all malls we went to. We went to the Crystal shops, we went to the shops at the Wynn, the shops at the Encore, Bellagio, and the Forum shops. And I'm talking every luxury store that I walked by, there was nobody in there. Now, I did have my sales associate at Tiffany, he said they had been extremely, extremely busy. But I was the only person in the store at that moment, so maybe I just missed the busyness. Maybe I'm off altogether and people are buying the same way that they always have. I know I'm not for now at least, but what is your opinion on this? Are you still luxury shopping? Do you think luxury shopping is dying? Do you think it's dead? Do you think it's going to be over? It seems like, and I find this fascinating, and so many of you told me this, so many of you started shopping during the pandemic. Like during the pandemic, at least during 2020, I felt like I really pulled back, and I felt like I was so shocked when I would go into the stores in Louis Vuitton and they'd be like, oh, we can't even keep up. We can't keep up. And I guess, people not traveling, having that extra travel money, and they, turned into a different direction of luxury. And maybe now that everything's open again, you're turning back to doing travel or other things like that. But I would just love to hear your opinion down below, because it just seems like it's changing, and I haven't seen any bag in a very long time that everyone is like clamoring to get, and it's so hard to get, and a rare piece. You remember how that used to be with both Louis Vuitton, Chanel, a lot of different brands. I've shopped those two probably the most as far as being fashion houses that would have the it bags, and it just doesn't seem to be happening anymore. But tell me again, I've said it 9 times, because I don't know, it was weird. It was really weird. It really reminded me of going to Vegas during the pandemic. There was no one in the stores, except for there were no ropes up and there were no guards. You could just freely come and go. I think the luxury experience is back, at least it is for me. I was treated really, really nicely in Chanel. Even I was not even in there very long, but she was very nice to me. She showed me another bag too, which I think was a mini flap, but I'm not sure because it had the woven leather CCs, and I don't like the mini flap, but it was pink, and so she showed that to me. But I've had good experiences, but I've just never seen them empty. But anyways, I hope to have a few more videos come out this week. I hope you are having an amazing day today. Take care. Bye-bye.